The next Spark session presenters are representing the WSU Pullman campus. Ryan Smith is the Director of the School of Design and Construction, and Jennifer Walllace is the Executive Director of Palouse Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it. My name is Ryan Smith. I direct the School of Design and Construction on the Pullman campus. Jennifer Walllace is joining me. She's from Palouse Habitat for Humanity. We're pleased to present this discussion on housing affordability and energy, and a particular partnership that has emerged over the last year. National homeownership rates continue to decline over the last 45, 50 years. This is particularly acute for an age group that is 25 to 34. This is important because Joint Centers for Housing Studies at Harvard has linked home ownership with wealth building and also has a corollary relationship to poverty. If you look at the state of Washington, and in particular, 30 to 40% of income that goes to housing is considered cost burdened. And that includes our region here on the Palouse, as well as, of course, the west side. Go ahead and advance. The context here is that housing affordability is an issue, but so is energy. And it has been the mantra or the thought in the past that if you build an energy efficient, high performance house, that it's going to cost more than a standard built house. And this is a problem in Washington because our codes are changing rapidly to be more energy aggressive. We tried to run an experiment some years ago that ended up not moving forward, but in that process procured hundreds of thousands of dollars in materials from donors for the solar decathlon competition. That did not move forward, and so on the Pullman campus, we had, in the engineering campus, stored a number of materials, insulation, building materials, solar panels, et cetera, from donors. I serve on the Ivory Prize for Housing Innovation, and we do a number of things to plan for the future. And one of those is to grow partnerships and provide awards. Another one that we do is something called the Hacka House, which is to partner with universities and have students come up with ideas in a hackathon event, ideas competition for housing affordability. Jennifer Walllace from Habitat for Humanity on the Palouse came and spoke to our students in this competition during a 24-hour period. And the students came up with ideas about how to address affordable housing in our region in Eastern Washington, and then presented them in a pitch event to judges. The prizes were given out, and the winning team was able to go to Austin, Texas at the Hive conference to share their ideas with a broad national audience for affordable housing. Go ahead and go to the next one. Also, what was also discussed with these students is they were brought on in a partnership through a memorandum of understanding between Washington State University and Palouse Habitat for Humanity to look at designing a house, single family prototypical house for a family in Uniontown, Washington. And this is the address, 503 Prairie Avenue, and has broken ground and will be built hopefully this summer and into the fall. And it's been a great partnership thus far. We're using the materials that were initially slated for that solar decathlon project to apply to this home. And we're also going to be gathering data in the home in order to assess the relationship between housing affordability, how to make it affordable, but also how to make it energy efficient to meet the increasing demand of the code in the state of Washington. So we've kind of titled this initiative HEAL, or Housing, Energy, and Affordability Lab, to try and heal our communities. And as you can see, the students who are engaged and have graduated since designed using the materials that were available to us and using and maximizing them. So it's a different way to think as an architect. It's designing from a set of a bill of materials as opposed to designing for use, and then from there applying materials. And they did a great job. Any materials we're not using, we will sell at the Restore, the Habitat Restore, and try to raise funds for Habitat for Humanity, both this house and other initiatives that they're working on. You can see the prototype is two sort of rectangles that meet. The idea here is also that this could serve as a prototype, and if it goes well into the future, could be built as two modules that come together on the job site, prefabricated modules. These are some renderings or images produced by the students. So you can see the house, it's very simple, rectilinear, with a simple gable roof to match sort of the neighborhood. You can see on the south side where those trees are that we are hoping to plant some deciduous trees that would grow leaves in the summer and shade the south side of the house, and then in the winter would leave and allow the solar gain into the home with the low winter sun to heat the home passively. So the students have been working on evaluating this and simulating this to ensure that we can try and get the cost of housing as low as possible, not only in initial construction, but in the operation of the home over its life cycle. Go ahead and advance to the next. And I'll let Jennifer pipe in here on what she's been doing with regards to Habitat for their events. Go ahead, Jennifer. I think she might need to be unmuted.
I just fixed that. Yeah, sorry. I've had some technical difficulties. Sorry, I was late joining the group this morning, but thank you very much to everyone. We are very, very honored and excited to be part of this partnership. Palouse Habitat has relied on our local land grant universities for years for volunteers. But when Ryan approached us about a deeper partnership, a much more practical, and I don't want to say that the volunteers are always amazing, and certainly we've had homes that were practically all cougar built, but the idea of building a home from the ground up, designed, materials donated, it's a very exciting possibility, and it's exciting to see that possibility becoming real. So the ground has been broken. The foundation was poured yesterday. They'll be stripping the forms and getting ready to put on the waterproofing on the exterior of that foundation next week. So it's real. The rubber has hit the road and we're moving forward. Some of the materials that were donated have been moved to the Habitat build site. Some of them that we won't be able to use in the build, but that we can use to raise funds. And I think if for anyone who's watching the news, you know how much building materials have increased, being able to raise some additional funds to help support this home. It's going to be the most expensive home we've ever built, simply because of the cost of building materials. So having this partnership with WSU is something I'm thankful for, yet again, and for other reasons. It's going to help us keep our costs down and help us raise money to build it. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, just under 1,200 square feet, very typical of a Habitat home. Really appreciate the student teams that we worked with and Ryan, because not only did they have to design the home to the materials they were working with, but they also had to design it to Habitat specifications. We have a budget, we have guidelines that we have to meet for Habitat International. And so we appreciated the students who stepped up and designed us a habitat friendly home. And certainly we keep all of our designs. And so it could be that this will be something that we use going forward beyond this home as well. We do have a homeowner for this home. It's our first single father. We've never built with a single father before. He has sole custody of his son, Caius. And they are, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Habitat selection process, we choose families based on income range, on housing need, and on willingness to partner. And willingness to partner means they work right alongside our volunteers building each home. All of our homes are volunteer built, and that is a huge cost savings for us. But we expect our future homeowners to be a partner in that process. And so Kyle has already been out to the build site getting his hours in, and is on a good footing to be a successful future homeowner. We typically take about 10 months to build the home. That is dependent both on volunteer availability. And so far we've been able to keep building through the pandemic with our core group of key volunteers. We call them the Codger Crew, self-named, and they're mostly a group of retired men and women who come to the build site. So they've kept us building these past few months and are the ones who have gotten the heel house up and out of the ground. The other thing it's dependent on is fundraising. And so our main fundraiser is always Beans and Jeans, and it was an online event this year. Our estimated cost to build the home at the time was $160,000. That number has gone up. I expect it's going to cost us $170,000 total. But Beans and Jeans was able to raise, we actually just had another gift come in, $83,000. So we have enough funds to get the home out of the ground and in the dry. What that means is the roof is on, the shingles are on, the walls are up, siding, doors, windows, all of that is in place. And so we will be looking to fundraise aggressively through the fall in order to raise the funds needed to complete this home. Ideally, we will complete the home from 10 months from start to finish. And so hopefully we will be celebrating a dedication sometime next February or March. We will be celebrating the partnership with WSU at a wall raising, which we expect to be sometime midsummer. So stay tuned. We're working with Devin Anderson and the rest of the development team there at WSU, contacting the donors of the materials so they know how their gifts are being used to make a difference here on the Palouse. This is an ongoing research project. There will be monitors installed in this house that will track the energy usage, so we can compare it to other similarly built homes going forward and see if some of the design elements that Ryan's team has incorporated and some of the materials that we're using are helping keep these homes more affordable in the long run for our homeowners. Because Ryan's absolutely right. The codes are only getting more aggressive, which is I think where we need to be, but trying to build an affordable house that meets those codes is a challenge. So anything I've left out, Ryan? Anything we need to talk about?
No, that's great. I want to thank Jessica Peroni from Center for Civic Engagement and Jennifer Walllace for helping us broker and build these relationships. We'd like to do more affordable housing as a school with community action and other partners. So if you have an interest in partnering with the school, please reach out as we can continue to find solutions that are affordable and energy efficient.
Any questions?
It looks like there's one question in the chat. Are there conversations started yet on how we can build on these ideas to provide housing for students working at research centers? Oh, I lost my chat, sorry. Research and extension centers, rural communities to deliver healthcare, health education, and other initiatives. Housing is a barrier to these kind of experiential learning opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I just want to put in a plug for, as an answer to that, and also as a partner, we have an initiative. It's basically a lab like that HEAL is partnering with, and that is the Rural Communities Design Initiative. It's led by Bob Krikak and Michael Sanchez, and they work with communities throughout Washington and the region to not only address housing, but also all sorts of other community needs. They're partnered with Rosalia, for example, because a lot of those homes burned in the fire. They partner with communities and municipalities that may not have access to design services. And so we're committed to designing for the 99%. Too long design has, in architecture and interior design landscape, has focused on the elite. And we are trying to teach our students to smartly design research-based methods for the 99%, and that's the goal. So if you have a project like you're suggesting, yeah, we'd love to partner and find solutions. So thank you very much. I think that's our time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ryan and Jennifer.